Welcome to my program, Bashy's Corner. We discuss and take up issues which mainstream media doesn't dare, doesn't want, and doesn't care. But we do. And the proof is always the guests I invite in the studio. Politics is considered a dirty word by many, many Danish people. They think that politicians never tell the truth and always tell their side of the story. Such politicians work with issues they think are very important and not what public think which is necessary. My guest today is one such politician who is very different from many, I would call them professional politicians. He not only deals with politics on a daily basis, but also takes part in NGO work. He's also very concerned with health issues in his municipality where he works, and also with his work with NGO, especially with Pakistani people. Welcome to my program, Kurt. It's nice to have you.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Thank you. You are involved in many things: politics, Pakistani community, NGO work, and also health issues are very close to your heart. Yeah. How can you manage all those things?
Oh, by working like Microsoft. Okay. You know, they have a lot of maps. So if you have one case, you deal with that, and then you put it down and then map, and then to go to the next case, you know. So you always have these kind of maps, you have a very good overlook.
And you're a very organized person.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Coming back to your work, how did you start your professional career?
I started my professional career in 1962 as a cadet on an officer's cadet in Svendborg.
Okay. And that was working with what?
It was officers in the marine business.
In the Navy?
Yeah.
Aha. Okay.
So I joined for some of the biggest ship owner companies in Denmark. And that was why I later on, after my exams, traveled all over in the world and became a global person. I'm not a national person, I'm a global person, you know.
Looking at your CV and also on your Facebook, I'm amazed at the number of professions that you have been involved. Are you restless by spirit? They move from one place to another?
No, but I'm a very curious people, man, and it's exciting because I have 5 educations behind me, and I have a lot of inside knowledge about these things I've been working with during my lifetime. But the general red thread is that it's general management, which I learned as an officer in the marine business.
Okay, and then you move on from there?
Yeah, that's right.
You have also been, as you say, managing many companies. How did you get interested in so many diverse? Because I can understand that you stuck to one company and moved on up to be...
Yeah, I was normally headhunted by other people.
All right.
from the board of management, you know. And if you look carefully into my CV, you also see there's several Scandinavian companies. So that is the way. It's a network and people who knows you and then said, hey, could you try to work for me for a couple of years and change this and this situation, you know,
so you're happy
on a Nordic basis.
So you're happy that your qualification and your expertise was headhunted?
Yeah.
Okay. And then from there, what made you get involved in politics? Because business politics, sometimes it doesn't mix.
That's 2 very different worlds, you know.
Exactly.
But I didn't jump from business to politics. I was running both horses. And why I came into politics was because of a man called Paul Hartling, maybe you know.
Oh yeah,
he was a very good PM.
Absolutely.
And he was also a very good commissioner for UNDP on fugitives, and the work he has done all around the world meant very much for me as a global person, you know. So he he was in fact my mentor, and that was why I joined Venstre in '84.
That's interesting, because I met Gert Peterson in '86, and he asked me to join SF.
Yes.
And I said I didn't know anything.
Often his personal
exactly
things who are.
Quote, you are a member of the ruling party, in English Liberal, but in Danish Venstre. And that is the party of the Prime Minister Rasmussen. But this party is considered as party of the rich people, people with businesses, people with connection, and you have heard all the rumors, you know. So you told me that you were asked by Paul Hartling, but there was a big difference between Paul Hartling, his policies, his humanistic way of looking at things, and today's Venstre.
That's because That's because you don't know the history, our political history.
Please tell me Tell me the history.
Venstre is the oldest party in Denmark.
Okay.
And it was created in 1870, after it went from being called the right. And the right that's why it's called Venstre today.
Okay.
And the right is really the rich people. That's all the nobilities and all the big
business people.
Yeah. And today it's still conservative, and it's the conservative who are really the rich people's party and the new LA.
Okay.
Venstre is filled with normally people and blue bjarne, as we call them, people who works, farmers and this kind of thing, and a small and smaller business people. You know, it's not for rich people.
Well,
that's a myth.
I understand, and I think it's wonderful that you explain that the party is not for rich people, but everybody can take part. But you also know, and I'm sure you have heard that many times, that the conception among, especially among minorities, is that it is a party which is quite right-wing and also not very friendly towards ethnic minorities. So how can we remove this perception? You know?
The best way is to talk together, because then you can come into the real history of what is called. Venstre was responsible for the law of defense, and we're talking about 901 now.
Okay.
And the first social laws was made by Venstre. Some people don't know that, but in fact all the welfare technology, the welfare politics was started at that time.
Yeah.
And another thing which are very important, that is the Constitution of 1953, which also was Erik Eriksen, who was the main purpose for that, and that's
also your party.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Constitution of today.
Yes, but then again, my question, if you don't mind, I want to repeat. You know, I understand and I respect what you're telling me is also good news from our viewers, but this perception, which according to you is very wrong, and your party have done a lot of work for social equality and for other equality in Danish society, but don't you think it is important for your party to make these messages known among the minorities, at least, so they know?
That's a thing we have failed in, and especially Christiansborg has failed in that, because in the municipality, out in the København and the other areas and the capital municipality, it's known. But when you come to Christiansborg, you see a different kind of politics, you know. I call them teenagers. They don't know how really depth the situation in Venstre is. And they are running more or less after population, you know, coming into TV, coming in the radio, snap the finger, I want this and this moment in television, you know. And that creates an impression that we are against foreigners. And that's the wrong thing, because that's not the backbone of our political party. If you really study our history and study our program, you will see we are a very social company, social party.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know, in every family you have teenagers who have a different opinion and a different behavior.
I'm sure that the people in parliament would not be very happy listening to a party brother saying that they're teenager. Anyway, because I know you as a great humanist, you work with so many issues, you know, which are very close to my heart too. So I was thinking, why didn't you join, for example, SF or you know, other party which is very deeply involved in this kind of issues?
Not in fact. You saw neutrality under the last government.
True.
With SF and Social Democrat. And
yeah.
That was not really the party who make it rule the democratic way in the country. You know, it's not only to have a program, you have to be a ruler and have the power for the whole country.
Yes.
And all ages, from child to the older people, and you have to manage everything in that aspect.
And implement those things.
And that, in case to do that, you need experience. You see all the new all the new parties coming in, they don't have a total package for how to rule a country. And another thing you have to look carefully into, the last at least 10 years, I guess 80% of the laws who has come through the parliament has been voted through by Social Democrat, DF and
Danish
Venstre.
People's Party.
And Venstre. And you will also see that if Mette Frederiksen will be PM next time, because that is people who has experience. That is Social Democrat and Venstre. DF has not taken the responsibility on their shoulders yet. They are afraid of going into a government and get their hands on the cooking plate, you know.
True.
So now they are sitting outside, and it's an easy way to run politics because you don't have the responsibility.
It's interesting that you say that Danish People's Party and Social Democrat Party together with your party Venstre has made many laws. But when I look at the latest poll, that many voters among the what you call right wing, we can call them, that they want Danish People's Party to be part of the government. And at the moment your party is a minority government. So with I'm sure there are a lot of other people in Venstre who have this opinion you have. Do you think that Danish People's Party and Venstre could be a good combination?
In my own opinion, no. I have to be honest.
Okay.
And they were invited last time here, but they scrapped away. They didn't want to take this responsibility. And nowadays you see they're sitting together with Mette Frederiksen. But if you really go into the depths of lawmaking in Denmark, you see really it's Social Democrats and Venstre who is carrying all the heavy burden of running this country.
They are two big parties.
Yes, they have a lot of experience, but you have also further seen there was a government called SV.
That's true.
That was a very early time and too early. But maybe in the future you will see that. Maybe in the future. One can never know.
So do you think that your party's good influence is good for Danish People's Party to bring them maybe to be more humanistic?
That is a very tough job.
It is. Okay. Coming back to your political interest, are there any special areas in political work which you are interested?
My heart is, and my really driver is equality in health.
Yes.
Equality in health is a
two issues.
Huge job. You see all over, both in hospitals, and you see it in all the centers and for old people and young people and somatic people and psychiatric people. There's no equality for health, and that is really my driver. You know, you have to put all your force into that aspect to equalize the situation on health. And social and health politics is in my heart, and that's really my driver.
You talked about elderly, that one of the issue you work very much is for the quality and the good quality of life for elderly people.
Yeah.
And I can understand, here you can see that there is effort maybe to have our elderly people's home for ethnic minorities, because they now, when they get very old, their children cannot take care of them. Do you think it's a good idea?
Yes, I have talked with a lot of younger ethnic people who are in the middle age, where both the men and the women are working.
Yeah.
And they are very busy in each day. They have 2 children, maybe school and education. And they are claiming they don't have the time to take care of our elder people. And they are running with a lot of guilt because they said, hey, what is happening now? That's a thing they are very, they're not very happy about this situation. So something came into that situation when we discussed, as the Jews has done, make a special elder home for ethnic people. Because then you can get the food you want, you can get the culture you want, and you can also get jobs for girls who take this social education and can speak their language, you know, and know their culture and how to behave when you have to treat them every day. But I know it's a very political question and issues, both in the ethnic groups, because the older people said, you have to take care of me, and the younger said, hey, I don't have to take care. And the normal population says that they have to come into our normal elder home. You
know. As you've been talking about your interest in health, I know that you work with diabetes, you work with patient rights, and also restructuring of the whole health system. Now, Denmark has one of the best health system in the world. We all know that. So why do you want to change this system? Because
there's a new national standard. Today, Bashy, many people has more than one diagnosis. We call it multi-illness. I am diabetic myself, but I have also 2 or 3 other diagnoses. And when you went to the hospitals, you see silos for one diagnosis, and then you go to another silo with another diagnosis, and then to a third silo, and then for the third diagnosis. So the poor patient is running around, but there's no doctors who has the overview. Yes, that's why I want to make more cooperation through these silos, and I want to have what we call in Danish apparel. And what does that mean? That's a patient responsible doctor.
I see. Yeah.
Who can follow you in all the silos and have the total overlook.
And the connection between
between all the specialists, you know. And when the patient is coming home, he also has the connection with the municipal and the practical doctors in the municipal.
It's a great idea. Let's hope.
So that is what I want. So even a good health care system can be even better. So I better like to have the world best system.
I support you on that.
Where you put the patient into the situation. He knows better than everybody else what is wrong with me, you know. So he has to be part of this triangle.
Yes, you're right. Coming back to another issue, you have been involved with the Pakistani community with NGO level. Of course, you know that most minority groups don't like Danish People Party. You know that, you know. Yeah. They, don't you see any problem with your party if they come to work with them together? Especially on laws about aliens laws and immigration, asylum and all that?
Oh, it's the democratic situation in our parliament, you know. We have the situation and nobody have the full power, so you have to work with everybody. And today you see a very tight working together with the Social Democrat and the DF. The DF, in fact, are very angry at Venstre many times, you know.
Okay.
So there are a lot of disposition. And that will be more in the future, I guess. Okay. So I don't see really the situation where Venstre and DF is going in government together, because concerning EU, Europe, concerning all this border and all these things, there's big difference, you know. So in fact, we have more in common with the Social Democrats than with the DF.
So you can't make government with them?
Yes, because on the Europe side, we are more or less the same situation. We have to fight for that, you know.
Okay. You are also one of the founders of Danish-Pakistani Friendship Society. What are the aims of this organization?
That's culture bridge building.
Building cultural bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you have to learn each other's culture, you have to talk to each other, you have to travel in each other's countries to understand really why is Bashy thinking the way he is thinking, and why is Kurt thinking the way he is thinking. As a very famous director of a phone company in France said, samtale fremmer forståelsen.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, communication.
And by traveling in these other countries, you can see and meet people, and you can meet the culture, which are of course different in the 5 regions in Pakistan. Very different. But you have to be there to learn how the situation is.
And you also have established Pakistan, Denmark Business Forum, something like this?
Yes, that's because the best tool for prosperity is trade. You know, always since the Vikings were here, we have trade with East Asia.
No war, but trade.
Yeah, you know, and the old Silk Road is the way to make trade.
So you have visited Pakistan?
Yes, I have been. Okay. I have been visiting Pakistan and visited all the 3 biggest chamber of commerce and industry. The one in Sialkot, which are a very progressive production number, and then the one in Islamabad, and the one in Lahore, which are one of the most active chamber of commerce and industries in Pakistan, and then of course the one in Karachi. And that's why we, through this the organization Danish-Pakistani Business Council, have made a bridge to these chamber of commerce and industries. And I would like to transfer knowledge in energy and green energy, wind, sun, and everything what we have in Denmark to Pakistani companies who can produce these things. That will always give the advantages for Pakistan, that they can export to 42 other Muslim countries.
That's true.
With production in their own country, you know. And another thing, Bashy, which are much more important, is you have a very big group of young people up to about 30 years in Pakistan. Instead of their traveling up here and get job as taxi drivers and pizza and these kind of things, even they have a very high education.
Yes, true.
It's better that they join these work together in their companies
and stay there.
And stay there and help the society to grow, you know, and make a middle class and a better living standard.
Wonderful. Beside business, did you like the people, the food, and the country?
Oh yes, especially like the food.
Okay.
in the beginning, I have to learn all the spices, you know, but I'm very fond of the food now.
Weren't you afraid to visit Pakistan because you hear about terrorism and killing and all that, you know? You have been there many times.
Yes, but that's again pumped up in the press, pumped up in the TV. When I travel down there, you also see people from F.L. Smith. There are always engineers there traveling alone, and you can travel alone there without any problems. And now you have Novo Nordisk down there, you have Lundbeck down there, you have even Lego down there, and F.L. Smith has been there for decades.
Many years.
There's a lot of Danish companies come down there, you know.
What can Denmark import from Pakistan?
A lot of things. We have the right figure is that we import about 165 million.
Krona.
No, that's more or less $1, you know.
Okay.
And we export Denmark to Pakistan 250.
So it can be strengthened. it can become bigger.
Yeah, and the last report I read from Bloomberg is that you will have a BNP growth on 7%. That's more than the Chinese.
That's true.
So you have to look carefully into the economic situation in Pakistan. It's much more growing than people think, you know.
And 200 million people.
Yeah, that's right. There's
country.
a big. And when I traveled down there first time, I was, of course, as Venstre is what do we call it? A cooperative society, cooperative andel.
Yes.
And we started for 140 years ago. So of course I would very much like to see what is happening out in the countries. And I learned that Pakistan was the 5th greatest producer of raw milk in the world.
Yeah, it is true.
But I also learned that only 4% was produced.
The capacity is there.
Yeah, but there's a big waste, you know.
Exactly.
And because when they didn't knew
how to milk the cows.
Yeah, they didn't knew the way to put down the what do we call it? The pasteur situation,
All right.
which we have learned in Denmark for many years.
Coming to the end of our program, you are a politician and you are going to be also candidate for municipality election. Why should I vote for you?
I also work for the capital municipalities, where you have the hospitals.
But now talking about your politics, you know.
As ethnic
There'll be
minorities,
election on 21st of November.
ethnic minorities ought to vote for me because I work hard for ethnic group concerning equality in health, social and health point. Politics is my heart and my big driver. And I have learned during my career with diabetic that there is a big problem with especially this side.
So one of the proof of your work is that you even went to trouble to translate this campaign against diabetes.
So you can test your
so that
risk,
people can test. Wow.
And go to a doctor when you have trying to do that. Many of my ethnic friends know that they can rely on me. And they know that I work seriously for cooperation between our different cultures, you know. Some people, some politics are just talking like parrots, you know.
And you do that.
And other people are acting, you know. So
Kurt, it was a pleasure having you here.
It was a pleasure to meet you here.
And our viewers, remember that people like Kurt, who have a right heart and want to implement things which will help you. Take good care of yourself. Until next time, see you again.